I want to welcome in NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell. Sue, a lot to get to, but let's begin with the running mates. Kamala Harris doesn't have one yet, and Donald Trump's is causing him, a little bit of drama. We just heard in that story. Just a little. We want to begin with J.D. Vance. He's only been on the ticket for a few days, but since then, interview clips of him have surfaced where he trashes women and couples without children. He said that people without children should pay more in taxes. He's equated rape to abortion, and when asked to defend his wife against the racist attacks thrown her way by the far right of his own party, Vance said that he loved his wife and, quote, obviously she's not white, unquote. In your opinion, how would you rate J.D. Vance's rollout to the American public?
Well, Priscilla, I think that this introduction of J.D. Vance to the American public will be a case study in the future about what not to do in a political campaign. Look, you've asked just about a few of the terms that have been associated to Vance, but he's also trending on social media for a number of not suitable for general audience terms, kind of taking a page from the Lyndon Johnson and pig comments that he used to make. You can Google it and learn about it. But look, there's definitely a lot of room here for regret for Republicans about this vice presidential pick. Look, there were lots of other choices for Trump to choose from, and reports say that Eric and Donald Jr. were the ones pushing Vance to be the pick. Now, this Trump campaign has been more professionally run than the past campaigns, but the Vance pick looks like the kind of mistake the old Trump campaigns would have made. He clearly wasn't properly vetted, and he really doesn't bring that much to the ticket, so we're going to see in coming days and weeks. We only have 99, 98 days to the election, if he's going to be a drag on the campaign.
Yeah, Sue, it's really coming down to the wire here. Kamala Harris appears poised to pick one of three men as her running mate. We're going to talk about more of them in just a minute, but it appears there's a push to get former Boston Mayor Marty Walsh on the ticket. What are you hearing about that being an actual possibility? And do you think we will ever see him back in politics?
So, Priscilla, on Friday, I was in touch with a Walsh insider, and I asked them that question, and they told me that I should know that it's absolutely ridiculous to have somebody from Massachusetts on this particular ticket, and that the idea is ridiculous. They also used a bunch of swear words as adjectives, so I'll let you fill those in where you think they fit. Look, part of this buzz of a Harris-Walsh ticket is because there are reports that the two get along, and if Walsh was from a swing state, it might make sense. Look, Marty Walsh is a very appealing politician. He's young, he's pro-union, he works for a union now, he was a state rep and obviously mayor, and served in Biden's cabinet. He's the kind of progressive Democrat that blue-collar Democrats can relate to, but I don't think we've seen the last of Marty Walsh yet. It just won't be on the Harris ticket.
All right. Well, speaking the three men who do appear closest to being asked to join the ticket are, let's take a look here, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Do you think any of them would be a bad decision? And is there anyone else not on the list that you think that Harris should look at?
So none of them at this point would be bad. The weakest is Beshear just because he's from Kentucky, and Kentucky is not as much of a swing state as Arizona and Pennsylvania is. Look, in a future world, Secretary Pete Buttigieg or Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, they would be great additions to the ticket. I don't think we're there yet. Some voters might have a problem with a woman and an openly gay man, or two women on a presidential ticket. The Harris campaign says they should have a pick in 6 to 7 days, so stay tuned and let's see what we end up with.
All right, Sue O'Connell, thank you.